going on, man? I mean, it wasn't for lack of trying in that first period. A lot of energy, a lot of shots towards the net. Um, some good saves by Gibson. Ratu's feeling it right now. I mean, he's definitely taking advantage of the extra ice time and showing that he wants to work hard. And he's grown a bit this year for sure. Um, the last few games he's been playing quite well. So if they continue with this energy, I mean, they could very well win this game. Just have to keep the chances up. A couple of good looks on the power play. I think they got 2 shots through, which is, it's nice to get those chances through. I mean, a nice little tip pass through to Sherwood that missed the net. Besser ripped one wide, but some good looks there. I like what I saw. Struggling in the face-off dot, which is understandable. If Pettersson's in, that number's probably a little bit up, but Ratu is kind of our only guy right now that's been winning face-offs in the last couple of games. So, not very good in that category right now. Only 5 of 15. I mean, a tough turnover in the corner. I don't know why both D-men were going into the corner. I'm going to give it down there again. Marcus Pettersson just making weird mistakes that you don't make as a veteran. Continuing to kind of look almost like a rookie. Chased that puck, got both D-men under the blue line in the corner, kind of left Van Riemsdyk wide open in front to just tuck that one past Lankinen. But, if they can continue pushing the play, getting more power plays, hopefully they can get a couple by Gibson here and sneak out another win. God, I can't believe I'm talking like that right now. Like, what is going on?
Well, it's funny because we talked about this once or twice. Linus Karlsson is technically a center as well. Like, he can play center. He did take a face-off. He did win it. So that's something you might want to think about too. Foot in his presser today talked about how apparently in training camp they were talking to Drew O'Connor about the possibility of playing center. So now they have him as the 4th line center. But I almost think it makes more sense to have Linus Karlsson play as that center role because he does have a little more experience when it comes to taking faceoffs. And in relief, he does tend to, I think he's probably about a 50% player when he does come in, when his actual centerman gets waved out. So maybe that might be something they might switch up. Who knows? If this game goes sideways, we'll see the blender come out again in the 3rd period. So anything is possible. And I mean, comp, right? So up to Karlsson for winning his draw, down to comp. You are here for one rule. You are only here to win faceoffs, and you are at 33% in the faceoff top, bro. That is not good enough. You need to do better comp, so figure your shit out. And, down for comp, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what has he done for us really since he got here? Right? It's what we expected when we heard they were interested. I was like, oh, please, no. It's not at all what we need right now. I mean, it is what it is, right? We got Reichel rotting in the press box. We got Kampf who can't win draws, but it's supposed to be his thing. I mean, for what we've got for a lineup right now, it's hard to really complain. Friedman actually said it best this morning. He's like, these guys are playing their butts off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not for lack of effort. And that's been the hardest thing to criticize these games, right? Like, I'm not specifically criticizing the players themselves. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there can be things that they can do better, but it really ultimately comes down to the coaching and them not being put in the right positions to succeed, even though they are out efforting teams on most given nights. It just doesn't show in the results because we're constantly fighting an uphill battle when it comes to the lineup. And, what was it against Utah when we saw the most balanced lineup that we've had all season long? that was a dominant game. And yes, we lost the game, but when you look at the effort that was given by every line and the fact that we controlled the majority of that game, it's hard to be upset with the effort that the guys are putting forward. So um we'll see as guys get healthy here who ends up getting waived, but now with Bluger's health being pushed till after Christmas, which we'll talk about later in these talking points, but something's got to give. Either the and I get that just because everyone wants to make trades and people want the head office want front office and the GM to trade for a center, like there's so much parity. Everyone's so close in the standings. No one wants to really give. No one's declaring themselves a seller yet, really, other than we've talked about it in the past, Nashville, right? Like Nashville is pretty much out of it. They need to sell off their big assets. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if they tried to sell off UC Saros to a contender that needs a really solid starting goalie that can give you a lot of minutes. Like he plays a lot of minutes. And so if there's other teams out there that have maybe questionable starting goaltending or an injury that they might need to fill a hole with, he's a heck of a guy to try and pull off of that team. So, but until then, I mean, the Canucks are without a dance partner, really. And until they have an appropriate dance partner, there's no point in selling low this early in the season, especially when they are kind of hanging in there right now with other teams. So we've talked about how it kind of keeps putting a blanket over the illusion that they can continue to win, but an issue that will happen, as we'll see, is even when everyone is healthy, it all depends on what lineup we see come puck drop.
The last down I'm going to give out before we move on to Hoglander is Quinn Hughes has already played 9 minutes and 16 seconds, which is insane. I don't understand why.
I mean, does it surprise you?
I'm not surprised, right? It is what it is. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just going to give it a fat down and we're going to move on with our lives because nothing's going to change that nonsense. Hoglander.
We're going to talk about him later. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah. Hoglander back in the lineup. Already looking shifty out there. What'd you think about his game so far tonight?
I think he looks pretty good for a guy who has not played yet this season. It could just be adrenaline. We'll see how it sustains over the course of 60 minutes. But I definitely liked what I saw. He looks excited to be back in the lineup. He's always been an energy player, so we'll see. So far I like what I see. Again, see how he does over 60 minutes. He could start to get a little tired. He might get burned on a puck battle here or there. We'll have to keep an eye on him. But overall, I mean, we see, the Hoglander that we know and that got that contract extension. So far, I'm happy with what he's doing. As long as he continues to do the same things that made him successful up to this point, it's nice to have a winger like that in the lineup. Once Pettersson's back, I'd really, really love to see like a Hoglander, PD Carlson line or something like that, right? Like just give him someone who's got a little bit more oomph and wants to drive the net a little harder than Evander Kane.
I think the thing that always I forget about Hoglander. He's just such a shifty guy. Like he's so much like a young Connor Garland, right? Like, and that's the kind of frame that he has and the footwork, and he's got really good hands. And so it seems like it's not going to take him very long to get back in the swing of things. So as long as his conditioning get up to snuff, he should be good to go pretty much right away here.
Yep, absolutely.
Hughes on the block. Trade talks heating up all over the league. We heard Elliot Friedman talk about Jersey calling out. I mean, Detroit, they're playing tonight. That is probably, by the way we can hear it, is Detroit's probably the best dance partner for the Canucks right now because they want him, because they screwed up in that draft and took an idiot instead of taking a guy who literally played in their state. And they got young guys, and they got picks, and they got prospects. So Does Quinn Hughes just hop on the plane with Detroit when they leave?
I mean, the way Friedman was talking, it sounds like there is a deal that could be made eminently when it comes to um trade talks with Quinn Hughes. Obviously, everyone thinks New Jersey is the landing spot, but they just don't have the assets to bring back. I mean, is Simon Nemec and Mercer enough for you?
No.
Like, and certain teams' picks are going to be more valuable when it comes to the first round next season. There are probably teams that are going to want to protect their first round pick next year in a lot of these trades. So there's no point in selling low with a player like Quinn Hughes. Like, yes, it's painful right now, and this season is a struggle, but you have him under contract for another calendar season next year. So, if you sell too low and he goes somewhere and he doesn't like the fit and he decides he wants to go again, I mean, you could end up losing out big time if a team flips him for even more than you did. So, will it suck for Hughes? Absolutely. But he signed a contract to play here for X amount of years. And, it's the team's right to say, no, we're not trading you right now because we're not going to get the best value for you at this time. So we need to wait. You're the best asset this organization has ever had, and we're going to hold on until we get the best return possible because, if you're being a responsible GM, that's the only way to handle this Hughes situation. And for me, like, I got to look at it, and you hear about all these fans and people talking about how Aquilini's got to have his hands involved and he's got to be involved in this team. And it's like, I find it hard to believe that he's okay with losing a player of Quinn Hughes' caliber in this type of manner. I said it a few games ago. There's going to be a management change 100% before we see a Quinn Hughes trade. There's no way in my mind that if there's an owner that's meddling in this team, he is allowing Quinn Hughes to be traded without a GM coming in and attempting to right the ship. Because that is the MO of Aquilini, is trying to save things and win now. It's not blow it up, trade him, do what you got to do. I mean, if he's not meddling, that's what Rutherford will do. So it's really a question of which shoe drops first. Are Rutherford and Alvin going to be allowed to make a trade of Quinn Hughes? Will the owner okay that? Because at the end of the day, a trade of a player of that caliber will need to be okayed by Francesco Aquilini. No question about it. And that's not meddling. That's just, he is the franchise player. And your owner pays the bills and is your boss when you're the general manager and the president of this hockey club. So, I would find it a lot more plausible that Rutherford and Alvin are shown the door than Hughes gets traded. However, there's obviously going to be smoke to this fire, there's going to be fire where there's smoke, because when you put out a memo to every team, who's the first person they're going to call about? When you said, every player's available pretty much, they're not going to pick up the phone and be like, oh, is Tyler Myers available? They're going to pick up the phone and be like, Quinn Hughes, Vilander, Leckermacky, are any of those, like, these are the guys that people are calling about. They're not calling about, fringe guys. They're not calling about MP29. So we got to be realistic in what happens in the business sense. Like, yes, we all want the best team we can have at this moment in time, and we'd love for it to happen with the snap of a finger. But it's just not realistic in the business of hockey, because you have to do it in a balance of cap in and cap out. You also have to figure out, you have to stay above the cap floor, depending on what trades you're planning on making by sending out all these veterans. So There's a lot more to it. I would say that Rutherford with that memo is attempting to play chess instead of checkers and trying to just generate interest around the league so that he can start playing offers off of each other and just getting the best deals out there to present to Aquilini. And if they're not good enough, then those two are going to be the two that go. And that's just my 2 cents on the situation. Just looking at the history of how teams are run, how the business of hockey's operated. If you're given 4 years to turn things around and it gets to the end of your tenure and you're trading franchise guys, it's going to be tough to not see Alvin and Rutherford shown the door.
Little snippet from Foot's presser today. Bluger is probably an Christmas gift. Sounds like he had a setback, did something weird with his leg or something like that. But good news, at least getting someone back around the Christmas break. So could be a couple weeks away.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to hear getting guys like that back. Clearly we need help in the face-off dot. Clearly we need help on the penalty kill. Is he going to change everything and all of a sudden are we going to be a winning team? No, but he's going to fill a lot of holes that are frustrating to watch. Absolutely. So, he'll be a welcome sight to see for sure because we are damn weak up the middle. So any center coming back, I don't care who they are, I will be a sight for sore eyes.
Matt Damon, we'll have to get to you after the game and the post-game show. There is more. We got a game to talk about. We got player movement and activation off an IR. So that will everything that we'll talk about in the post-game show. Dustin, enjoy the second and third period, and we'll chat after it's all done.
Absolutely. Talk to you post-game.
Nothing is perfect.